Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Plat. We're back in the arena today, and you're going to notice it's a little bit different. We're on Aether Hub right now. I lost access to my hashtag sponsored account, and I didn't export the deck list first, and the cards aren't in Magic the Gathering Arena yet while the time I'm recording this, so I just went on Aether Hub and I made it so I could showcase the deck here. So basically what we did here, it's Grixis, as you can see, but I basically shoved every card. I just typed in the word AMASS and shoved all those cards into a deck. I played a few games, and then I kind of started taking some cards out that I didn't like, putting some in that I did like. And this is the final list I came up with. I'm still going to continue editing it. It just feels like when I make a deck like this is a meme. This is not a competitive ladder deck. The reason I have this deck is I like typing in AMASS, putting all the AMASS cards in, then just playing them, and it gives me a better feel. Because you can read a card and you can kind of know if it's good or bad. But sometimes a card is deceptive when you just read the text and you don't feel its impact. So I like putting all the AMASS cards in a deck and feeling which AMASS cards felt really good, felt more powerful than I expected, and which ones felt weaker than expected, and which ones kind of were what I, expected. So this is the list that I ended up on. And there's a few changes I'll get to about what I would make going into the future. So we're running Duress. Duress was just really, really good at the event. Everyone was playing Thought Erasure, a lot of board wipes, a lot of Esper in the event. So Duress is just really good. Again, it's kind of the same thing as my deck list yesterday. We have no turn one plays. And when you have no turn one plays, sometimes it's like, well, you might as well Duress and get, there's tons of Planewalkers in the set. It hits more out of every deck than it did in the past, because even creature-based decks are using more Planeswalkers. So Duress is as good as it's ever been. And I love that card. Going into our 2-drop, if you don't know what AMASS does, it's you put a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control an army, you get a 0/0 black army creature token. So if you have no army, you create a 0/0, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Pretty good with Proliferate, because it kind of does the same thing. It's basically, once you have a token with the +1/+1 counter, AMASS is basically Proliferate X for, just add that many counters. So you never go wide. You always go taller and taller and taller, which is inherently very, very vulnerable. So we have a couple protection cards here. At the 2-drop, we have an instant spell that does AMASS 1, and it gives all of your permanents you control hexproof. So it's twice as expensive as a cast down. It's not as good as cast down, but it does protect your guy in a lot of situations when they're going to cast it down, or they've got some sort of target of removal, obviously. And then you get to protect it, and you get to get your guy 1 point stronger, which is not irrelevant. If this is, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, it being, a 4/4 versus a 5/5 changes the clock of the game. So the AMASS 1 is not irrelevant. It's kind of scary. You definitely want to leave mana up for this card as frequently as you can, because you always want, if your guy dies, it's a very vulnerable deck. It gets destroyed by something like Kaya's Wrath a lot of times, but we do have some counterplay to it. The other defensive card you have here is Gleaming Overseer, a card that felt powerful on paper, and it felt much more powerful in this kind of specific deck. It's a 3-mana 1/4, terrible. When it comes into play, AMASS 1, still not that good, but the rest of that text, zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace. This makes your giant 10/10 army way harder to kill without anything, like, unless they either go cast down, get this, then get that with double removal, or they have a Kaya's Wrath. Like, the options are way, way harder. It becomes kind of like a Rekindling Phoenix, but even harder to remove a lot of times. And the Menace makes it so it's so much harder to block. Basically, control decks never get to block it, and even some creature-based decks have to either sacrifice, like, a lot of stuff to get in front of it, or they just take the damage. Which becomes really relevant when we're talking about probably the star of the deck, is Dreadhorde Invasion. This is a 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life, you AMASS 1. That is it's just good. Like, it seems like on turn 2 you play it, nothing happens. Then on turn 3 you get a 1/1, you lose a life, and the 1/1 can't attack because it has Summoning Sickness, so it feels slow. But in these control matchups, it's like so good because they clear the board, you have a body. You keep getting a body. And then the rest of the text is really good against the non-control matchups. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink. So all that life you lost, you just get it back basically instantly. This deck has a surprisingly huge amount of life gain between Dreadhorde Invasion and a card we're going to get to later. this card just, it's infinite value, right? Like sometimes it gets mortified, but most of the time this card just, this is the star. If you have 2 of them in your opening hand, 3 of them in your opening hand, you're usually happy with it. Like, this feels like a card you can't have too much of. Because it's 2 of them, you know, you summon a 2/2 a turn, and then on the second turn it's a 4/4, and if you have any other way, suddenly you're attacking with a 6/6, you know, and you're gaining all the life. It just, play the card if you're gonna try Amass. It's really good. One of the cards I decided to tech in was Angrass Rampage, just going up against a lot of Planeswalkers. Not a whole lot of Planeswalker hate that I felt like running. I didn't want to run things like Elder Spell. I really wanted to keep Amass the focus of the deck, just to, because that's what the idea was. Angrass Rampage was a cheap way to get rid of a Planeswalker or a creature. Never got rid of an artifact with it, but that's not really why you're running it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Sorcery speed makes it a little weak, but still, being able to get rid of a Teferi is pretty nice. Gleaming Overseer, we talked about. Nicol Bolas is a card that there was a few Amass cards that I was running that were like 5 mana, Amass 1, your zombie tokens get flying. Between the Menace and it's basically just the Menace and the ability to get to this, some AoE removal, it just never felt like flying was anything. The one time I got it and I had flying, he had a Planeswalker out that gave his creatures reach and it didn't matter. So it felt terrible. Nicol Bolas, it's in the colors. It's a powerful 4-drop. It gives you some card advantage potentially. You know, it more 1-for-1s at 2-for-1s kind of, because they'll spend a mana to remove it, or they'll spend a card to remove it, and it discards them a card. Obviously, late game bomb potential. Another card that I threw in here instead of some of these like weaker 4-drop, these fat Amass guys that were pretty terrible, is a God Eternal Kefnet. Now this card, I would definitely cut 2 of these and run 2 more Boluses. This card's new, so I wanted to run it. It's surprisingly, it felt bad every time. For a 4-mana 4/5 flyer, it really did not feel all that good most of the time that I played it. And I don't know if that's just because the deck is just not built for this card or what, but the effect never went off. Like, every time I drew it, I didn't draw sorcery or an instant. I'm running a decent amount, not infinite, obviously, but sorcery, instant, sorcery, instant, sorcery. Like, I'm running enough where you think it, but it didn't go off once. I probably just got unlucky. But even the body, the 4/5, it's good, and it kept me alive a couple times against some angels, but most of the time, it wasn't really doing much. I think Nicol Bolas just gives you more value overall. Just a stronger card. So I'd recommend switching out 2 of these for probably a full play set of Bolas, maybe up to 3. But, you know, the deck needs doctoring for sure. Again, this is a meme deck just to get the idea of Amass. Widespread Brutality, super fucking amazing in these creature matchups. Doesn't do much against control, but it's not dead against control because it does make your guy bigger. It's at sorcery speed, so it's not the best way to do it, but it's a AoE removal good in creature matchups that is not dead against control, making it a way good best of 1 card for most main boards. I think 4 of them might be a bit heavy. Even with running 4 though, I very infrequently drew it when I needed it. In the creature matchups, again, I got kind of unlucky. I got my slower cards. I did get this for lethal, I think 1 or 2 games though. And the last 2 cards are very, very impressive. We'll go, this one's less impressive, but I still like it. Commence the Endgame, 6 mana instant spell, can't be countered, probably the most important text on the entire card, just because when you're playing something at 6 mana instant speed, and you're playing against fucking all these Wilderness Reclamations, Teferis, and so they always have counters up. This card is getting you guaranteed value. Draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. I usually had this, draw 2 cards, amass for 2. Sometimes draw 2 cards, amass for 3, because I had another card in my hand. Very rarely did I have excess cards, but that's probably in the build. You probably want to go with the more control-y for this card. It's a very good card. In this specific matchup, or in this specific deck, it felt kind of clunky. Although normally, a lot of times it was my saving grace. I'm like, I just need some cards, I'm out. And it drew me 2 cards and it made my guy bigger. So it did everything I wanted, even though I wasn't getting that X value that I feel like I should have been getting. Because you can do it at the end of their turn, it can't be countered, it could be really easy to swing for lethal with some surprise extra damage on the board. Overall, good card, needs a different shell, I think, and I think it fits in a Grixis control-y thing than whatever this is. Enter the God Eternals. This card's a little confusing to me. It's very good, but it's 100% dead in a match against control. It's so good against mid-range decks. It's so good against, it's not great against aggro. It's really good against mid-rangey creature decks. And you're doing a lot. You get to deal 4 damage to target creature. You gain 4 life, or you gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, which is not irrelevant always. Sometimes you want to target yourself if you have some way to dig out of there. Sometimes you just want to burn some of their cards. They don't have a way to get their, Teferi out, or not Teferi, but if they don't have a way to get their Phoenixes out of the graveyard, I guess, because you just put them straight from the graveyard. Like, it's not irrelevant, but it's definitely not what you're playing this card for. Then you get a Amass 4. This is all at sorcery speed, but a 4 damage, 4 HP, then Amass 4. That's pretty good. I'm covering the mana cost. All for 5 mana. It's doing a lot. It's doing a lot for that mana cost. The issue is it's a little slow against aggro at 5 mana. Even the 4 health, a lot of times you just want like a moment of craving. It just does more against aggro. Against mid-range, it's a fucking golden card that feels great. Against control, you can't play it. It doesn't do anything. You have to target your own, like if you have a 1/1, creature, something you have to target your own creature to gain 4 life and to get the 4/4. So it's not like always 100% dead in this deck. You could still use it to gain life and get a 4/4 out of it if you kill one of your own creatures, but that's not really what you want to be doing. 5 mana, 4/4 gains you 4 life. That's way worse when you're not removing one of their creatures, but still, it has some flexibility, but it's less flexible than something like Widespread Brutality, in my opinion, because you can always amass this and commence the end game, which is always just good. Overall, the deck, not that great. I'm not going to lie to you. I do recommend, if you're going to play Amass, kind of doing a similar thing. Just put all the Amass cards in the deck, see which ones you like, which ones you dislike. That way you can decide which direction you want to take the deck. I personally think a tempo-based Amass is probably not where you're going to go. You're probably going for the long-term Dreadhorde Invasion, constant value, into later game, commence the end game, enter the God Eternals, and maybe even something like Widespread Brutality, but like something more of a late game control-y shell, I think, instead of this, because I did have a couple, the 2-drop, which is a 1/2, Amass 1. There was too many cards not doing enough, and it was too vulnerable of a combo without proper... At the end of the day, it usually came down, do I have Lezitet Plating? Or no, I have Gleaming Overseer. That's really what it came down to. Can I protect this 11/11 zombie token? And if I couldn't, then I usually lost. Sometimes I can get back into the game, but try it out. I got a couple clips to follow. They were not easy wins, and there was probably a lot of bitching because the deck made me a little bit salty. But at the end of the day, I really did have a lot of fun. A lot of Thought Erasers, a lot of control, but the event was a really good time. I hope you guys enjoy the clips, and if you want to see it, more War of the Spark coming today, actually. Check me out on Twitch. I'm going to be live at 7 p.m. playing Magic the Gathering. I believe I'm playing with my friend today, just going to be playing lots of jank, and you'll be seeing the videos of that later. Anyway, peace out. You're going to the store? You'll be back to lurk for a bit? You'll be lurk for a bit. That's cool with me, homie. Don't even worry about it, friend. We're all cool in the neighborhood. Robot AI challenging you. I'm not a phantom. I'm in your face and I'm here to see it through. Okay. We got some board wipes. This is an okay hand. I think every card in our deck has a mass attached to it, which might be really good. 2 1-drops is going to really suck. If it's not 2 1-drops, we're way happier. Oh, that's fantastic. Could not have gone better. Let's go, Amass. Oh, I wonder if the token gets bigger as you get more. Because that's clearly just a dude. First strike 1/1, motherfucker. Fight me. Well. Let's pay the 2 life. Sure. Oh, look at there's more on there now. I think there's more now. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't tell. Nice. Yeah, there's more. There's 6. There we go. There's an actual army there. That's so fucking cool. That makes me want to play AMASS alone. We should keep this up now, 100%. Otherwise, we're in trouble. I don't think he has any removal. I mean, he might have a... Probably has whatever tribunal. Alright. Well, that was a weird game. We didn't get really anything good, but neither did he, so... it's a 12-12, and we don't have any... We have 0 hard removal in the deck. So, that's my bad. What is CGB playing right now, I wonder? He's playing a very similar deck to us, but with a lot more Sinister Sabotages and stuff. I like all this stuff. The red doesn't feel necessary in the deck. Other than the AoE removal and maybe Angrass Rampage. Let's get all of our colors down. We will AMASS. What does this do? Oh, look at, there's that cool flying ship. It's that card. We can click this. It's like they're trying to do the Hearthstone, and I feel like they're doing it way worse, but you know what? They're trying. I guess our God Eternal, right? It makes the most sense. This is basically a counter to Thought Erasure, which is great. This is a great card. It kind of killed us last game, but also Galta is hard to deal with. We'll overcommit. He's probably got some dope ass board clear, like Cryocanarium or something. We'll see, though. We have a semi-counter. Okay. Not a bad draw. We'll keep this. We'll bluff. We'll bluff. What do we got? You got Vraskas? Nicobolus. Not our Steam Vents. Okay. As you do, draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card. You may cast the copy. It's not that bad. Honestly, not that bad at all. Oh well. That's a guaranteed draw in 3 turns. It's pretty good. I'll go ahead and mill you, I guess. That would have been a great card to draw with our fucking guy out, though. Hello there. The angel from my nightmare. It'd also been great at the 4/4 at haste. Another bedevil. We'll just keep putting pressure on. Wish this never ends. I miss you. Where are you? Something spiders. I got spiders. Did we get it? Things seem to be in our favor. We'll find out. Where's that song from? Let's see what he does. It's always sunny spiders. Let me see what's going on in this first. Nicol Bolas Arisen deals 10 damage to our creature, planeswalker. Creature or planeswalker from a graveyard into play. You get to take another bolus. Doesn't do anything for you though. Bolus into bolus is not usually a bad play though. Because you get to pay 7 mana to get a bolus out of your graveyard, and then you have a fat planeswalker, but none of those help. I'll say good game. This card's great. Oh my god. That card's so good. It's just a constant guaranteed threat. Yeah, it's dealing you damage, but you don't give a fuck, man. You don't give a fuck at all. Super streamers. Way longer than me, like 6 hours when I was getting on. No blue mana, we need double blue for that, but we have double red, black, and we have a bunch of playables. We have time to make this good. Miss you. Mad Mori VIP. Gleaming Overseer does seem pretty good right now. Thought Erasure's gonna take it though. Every goddamn person is running Thought Erasure. Everyone is playing like Esper or Grixis or something and running Thought Erasure. What is going on? Have some fun! We haven't drawn any land, which is terrible. In fact, these are our 2 top decks. They're both bad. You're already the voice inside my head. I miss you. Hey! Must have missed a land drop. Computer King VIP. Show me how you want it to be. Tell me, baby, cause I need to know now, because I will absolutely target them. Firemind's Research, Thought Collapse, Disdainful Stroke, Sinister Sabotage. This will take care of Sinister Sabotage. That's counter, counter, counter. He's still got 3 counters, but they're both double blue, which he does not have. And Disdainful Stroke, which who cares? We should play this. Let's get it going. We can attack with the 2/2 next turn. Potentially. Oh, baby, baby. I shouldn't have let you go. And I must confess. Oh, you can't attack with it. That's right. God. All right. Forget how slow this card is at first. I got no problem. I got value in the field already. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. We don't need to do that yet. We're not gonna use that anyway. We're gonna keep up our plating. Is killing me now. Don't you know I still believe? I do like this card, but maybe it's kind of low impact. All right. We have double plating up, which is pretty good in case he tries to burn counter, right? What does this get killed by? Not much anymore. Bum, bum, ba-dum. We did it! I don't know what his game plan was. Maybe it was to never let anything resolve. Kind of hard against a 2-drop, unless you're going first and you have a syncopate. Or you don't negate, of course. I would just love one of these cards one time. I'm gonna keep it. We have a 1/1 flash 1/1 here. You can make them sacrifice whatever they play next. We'll probably wait for a Thief of Sanity thing. Ah! God damn, does everyone need to play Thought Erasure, man? Like, it's like literally every deck, besides one today. What is going on with the MTG streamers that they just love fucking... I feel like they get hard off it. You fucking...
I'm just playing, Diddy. You know I love you.
Gotta start playing cards. Each opponent can only cast anytime they could cast a sorcery. Okay.
I am not going to sit this one out. I've got time.
Look, I made a mistake, but... One damage. Let's go. We just drew... We're land screwed, but it happens. Goodbye, Bolus. What is... I don't even know what this is. You may have Spark enter the battlefield as a copy of target creature or planeswalker you control. Is it legendary? And it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. That's pretty fucking great. Feel like it's all about getting multiple boluses out. Gotta play a land next turn. God, Commence the Endgame is always giving us no cards, though. I need to completely revamp this deck. The Amass is not what makes it good, I'll be honest. Okay. So bad. I should have just cast our spell.
My intellect without limits.
Kaya's Rat just kills that next turn. It kills this too. Blue, black, black. Yeah. This comes back. And we're hoping he'll just Kaya's nothing here. You know, this 5-5. Might thought he raised us again. He did Kaya's. That's why we didn't play anything. Is that enough of a threat? No. Still, we're getting fucked by second Kaya's back to back. But at a point, we gotta play some cards. We got it. What the fuck? What the fuck? All right. I'm always so pessimistic, but it's because when you're playing against like Esper, you know, or maybe that's not Esper, that's Grixis, because they're playing Bolus. But it's like I'm like, oh, they got the answer, and every now and then they just don't have it. All right, we did it. There's so much jank I want to try. Angels and bears. Oh my. No. No. You know how badly I just want a widespread brutality to ever work? I've never needed the sweeper. And all the games that I've needed it, is because we're playing a lot of Esper right now, and all the games I've needed it just hasn't been there. Yeah, Duress is good. We already have 3 lands. Let's find something else. We're more likely to draw land than anything else, so. Ugin. This is an artifact deck. Big treasure map. Sorry, I don't want to mute you. I'm sorry. Ugin's scary, but not that scary. I think that's fine.
I will gladly point out your inadequacies.
1, 2, 3, 4. Even if he has them. I need to see it through. Right before your eyes. Watch us multiply. You hit that for 3 next turn, it'll be down to 1. Because he's gonna -1. He might not -1. This card fucking blows, man. I don't want to fight this anymore. What does this Ugin do? Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Artifacts. Artifacts. Okay, I'm back. Since I just ate breakfast, this is my last game of the night. It'll put us right around the 5-hour stream mark, which is more than twice as long as my normal streams. Normally I wouldn't even have streamed this long. I really like Magic. I want to play it, but I was hoping that like some big Magic streamer would come in and be like, "Oh, let's give this guy a raid." You know, you get lucky every now and then, and because everyone's on right now, it felt like a higher odds, so thought it'd be fun. And you know you'd be out there.
Looking to elevate yourself. Perhaps a pair of stilts?
I will duress you. Well, it's to kill the Ugin. Doesn't do anything. No attacks. God, that card's actually fucking us up. Okay, now I'm back. Well, at least get to see the grand finale. Yes, this guy's playing a meme deck for the generations. Until your next turn, target artifact. Power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. That's a 1/1 then.
Studying contrasts. I'm excellent in your... well, not.
Evil cannot withstand light.
Is that until... when is that? Until your next turn. You may choose artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile. Reveal that card, put it in your hand. We can't even use this. Damage. Okay, nice.
This is a rare occasion. I'm not often.
This is going pretty good for us right now. He doesn't have that much. He doesn't have any card advantage. He could draw 3 cards, or sorry, he could draw a card for 3 mana with this, which he might need to. The deck's not operating right now. He's probably, he or she, I don't know. They are probably a few cards away from it really functioning the way they intend to, where things are feed into each other. You might need a -2 Karn, just get an artifact card. Like, you can choose any artifact. It'll go down to 4. At which point I will be able to kill it. When this card enters the battlefield, you may return another historic permanent you control to its owner's hand. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. Maybe Mox Amber or something? Oh, returning the Karn back. Okay. Got a menace. The damage, okay. We're still a land short. Like, we're stuck at 4 lands. We're running 24 lands, and I just never get what I need, I feel like. I think we leave this up until we want to kill the Karn. He's gonna play the Karn. That's gonna be all of his mana. Ding dong, ding dong, dong dong, ding dong, dong dong, dong. This is why we left this up. This card's so good. Makes this way harder to deal with. It's like a Carnage Tyrant, right? You always leave it up. Oh, look at our lands become hexproof. Everything becomes hexproof. That's actually funny. We need 1 land so fucking bad. Okay. 1 land and everything starts coming through. No. I don't know. Is board wipe in here good? I don't think so. His increased value he's getting from this is not that big deal, I don't think. This isn't doing anything. We're both top deck and I'm just missing lands. Why is Karn so cheap? I guess he's only 4 mana. Choose it like a 4 mana tutor for anything. That's basically a Mastermind's acquisition, and you could potentially do it more than once. You can also make this a 1/1 or that a 2/2. If he makes it a 2/2, I have to just clear the board at this point. I really need a fucking land. We're not screwed. We're at 4, but we got it. All right, top deck mode. We're no longer protected, but we have enough stuff where I'm not too concerned about it. Got it. Ugh. Got it. We held on to that for a long time because I was too afraid to lose, protection of my guy. Good victory for sure.